Well, welcome to the Upleveled podcast. I have here my great friend Alex and Brian. And today's podcast is not about Alex. We had one about Alex and it was very good. Well, you have been in several podcasts now that I think about it.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
You got a repeat offender.
Yeah.
It's good. I
With-
like it.
With very different styles. Like he came to one of the podcasts completely bold.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
completely bold. I don't know what was with that style. I don't think it suits you though.
No, it doesn't suit me. No,
Yeah.
no. Yeah, the chemo might have had something to do with it. just a little bit. And the ladybug that I had living on the side of my face. If anybody wants to go back and look back at that footage.
We actually talked about that.
Yeah.
later.
Oh,
We did
it was
that.
so bad.
Yeah.
So bad. But yeah, I think I'm aging well.
You are. You're killing it. Yeah.
It was a
I
bit
think-
backwards, but now you're looking
Yeah.
10 steps forward.
Yeah,
so.
it's good.
I think you have more hair now than what you did before chemotherapy.
The guy
Yeah.
has a thick head of hair.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
It's impressive.
it is impressive.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
Well, the other guest that the podcast is about, thank you, Alex, for sucking in so much spotlight at the beginning of the podcast, is Brian Vance. Am I saying it right? Or is Vance?
Vance.
Vance.
Yeah. If you're feeling French, it could be Vance.
Vance is cool.
Yeah, Vance.
Vance,
That's a good one.
Vance is very nice.
Yeah.
I will say, if I was Brian, I would say my name is Brian Vance. You know, it sounds more.
Honestly, people
Exciting.
would probably get that better because they're like, Rance? Dance? I'm like, Vance.
Vance.
Vance?
Like the
Vance?
choose.
Yeah.
Like the choose, right?
Yeah.
That's how you spell it? V-A-N.
Oh, no. V-A-N-C.
Just-
Yeah. We're actually cousins to the Vans.
To the Vance, right?
Yeah. Lineage.
You guys
So-
actually had the original idea.
We
and they-
we had started Vance.
You started
shoes,
Vance.
and they
They
cut out
took
the
it up.
CE and
Yeah,
Stole it.
totally ruined our business model.
completely.
Yeah, it's like the old Adidas and Puma.
Yeah,
You
same
know,
thing.
Yeah.
Brothers, shoe
Yeah.
companies, et cetera, et cetera.
Well, thank you for coming. In this podcast, I want to focus it on your entrepreneurship career and the shifts and things that you had to overcome in your life. So why don't you give us a throwback of when your entrepreneurship career started? When was the first time you said, wow, I'm not actually following, the regular path
Yeah.
of...
Good question. Alex, do you want to start? Spotlight, please.
Yeah, again, turn off my
Yeah,
light
spotlight.
and Vance's
Just
light.
get
Yeah,
ready for
just
this.
give it to him.
Historical
Yeah.
recount. Man, honestly, ever since I was, as cheesy as it sounds, a little kid.
Hmm.
I mean, my family owned a breakfast restaurant in Northern California. So at a very young age, we grew up working in the restaurant, bussing dishes, making money. So anywhere from 8 years old to 10, we're in there bussing tables, washing dishes, scrubbing floors. You kind of understood the concept of money, or at least its utility. And I was always, all right, cool, I can make money selling my time. And then I would go pick berries and fruits and stuff. And because it was Northern California, it's pretty lush. And I would go sell it to neighbors and
Hmm.
write little books and sell those or kind of whatever.
Write little books.
Like comic books. I would make little comic
You will
books.
make comic
That's
books.
awesome.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
What were they about?
Good question. I think at the time I was a pretty big fan of Captain Underpants.
Seriously?
So, yeah, I might have made some copyright issues there.
I have a better question. Who will buy this?
Who would buy this? I'll tell you what. Sweet little old ladies who would pinch my butt and put dollars in my back pocket when I was working at the restaurant.
Wow.
I knew my target market. Yeah.
Wow.
Would you sell them at the restaurant or would you like door to door?
You have to hit them on the way out.
On the
I don't
way
want
out.
to conflict with Dad's restaurant business.
Gotcha.
You know?
Gotcha.
Wow. That's pretty. How old were you?
Oh man, I was probably like 8 to 10 years old.
Jeez. That is pretty early for an entrepreneurship, venture.
I will say I didn't scale it as well as I should have
Okay.
at that age, but
Oh, that's great.
lessons I'm learning now in my
Yeah,
mid 30s, you know.
Who knows? You would have been a famous comic.
You know, there was a
Author.
time when I wanted to be a comic book artist.
Really?
Yeah. I was 13, 14.
Huh.
So I
What
was
made you change that course?
money.
Hmm.
Money. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was homeschooled. And then in high school we went to the community college locally. So we're in college and high school.
Mhm.
So by the time I graduated high school, I pretty much had my associate's degree.
Wow.
And I had picked up, my mother was a painter, my sister's a painter, my twin sister's a designer. So there's some family talent there,
Right.
but I was like, oh, I want to go to art school. So I was looking at CCA in San Francisco, FITM, and I was running the numbers on what it costs to go to art school, especially in LA, especially in San Francisco.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm going to be in debt $500,000
What?
That's insane.
going for 4 years to get an art degree. And then I'm looking at to get a $60,000 to $80,000 a year paying job. So that really also kicked off the entrepreneurship. And my mindset was like, well, I can't afford that because I have to pay for it. And the numbers don't number for me.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to go learn business and sales
Mm-hmm.
and build my businesses or business, whatever that looks like. And then I'll hire the art students that I would have gone to school with for whatever creative.
It's funny that
project.
you mentioned that you were homeschooled.
Yeah, people like to talk about that one.
Yeah, I love that because there's a huge correlation between entrepreneurship and being homeschooled. When you go to school, I think in this country, when you go to school, you don't really go to school to learn. You go there to be indoctrinated into a system that was created, and you can argue where it came from and all of that. If you read the Rockefeller files, he sent somebody to the India, and that guy came back and said, hey, this is what they do for the slave class. They send them into school. So Rockefeller wanted to implement a system that will produce more factory workers. He sent this friend of his to India, and the guy comes back and say, hey, I think I have the system. In India, they use this thing where the slave class just learn how to do the things that his slave parents do just a little better. And I think we can implement that here in the United States. And then suddenly the school system was implemented, and we did need more people in the factories to keep up with the production, the Industrial Revolution, all of that. But that system has stayed the same regardless of how the economy of this country has changed and the actual needs of it. So having somebody be homeschooled doesn't exposes you to the same indoctrination of just follow the rules. Your better score comes from just being obedient and not asking questions, and think within this box. And I think even though you pass the curriculum of education here, I think it teaches you that life doesn't have to be within, the same black and white lines. I think it's a great advantage for kids. That's just my opinion.
I think it breaks down the linear concept of education and life. You were kind of indoctrinated with the questions growing up of like, what do you want to be when you grow up? What do you want to do when you're like 16, 18 years old? You're like, and you're expected to have a path and a plan. And it's like, and human beings are these multi-dimensional beings that, like, maybe you'll do this for a minute and then you'll pivot. It's like learning how to pivot is the most important thing in your life.
100%.
Versus being a cog, in the wheel. And from a homeschool perspective, like all of our founding fathers, what do you want to call them, who started this country were all self-educated men.
Is talking about self-education, is crazy how this country or the media attacks self-education. And they call it, I don't remember the term they use, but doing your own research now is like a stigma. If you say that to anybody that's trying to prove an argument, they will say, oh, you're doing your own research. You're not an expert on this.
Interesting.
So I remember when the illness happened, the massive illness that everybody needed to get, certain injections.
Which one was that? Spanish flu?
What are you talking about?
Yeah, exactly.
Doesn't exist in Tennessee. So
it never existed, right?
God bless America.
So every time you will tell people, listen, if you just read what really is going on, you will understand what the real thing behind this is. People will say, well, who told you that? Well, I just read a bunch of information and I came with my own conclusion using what God gave me, which is common sense and logic. And they will tell you, well, are you a doctor? And I'm like, no. So you just did your own research. You're just coming with these things. And I'm like, how difficult it is for you to understand that a doctor studied something that somebody else decided that they should learn on. And do you know who that person was that decided that? Do you understand who is putting this curriculum together? Who is very interested that they learn certain things that they should learn or should not learn? Like, how much of these doctors know about nutrition? You know, it's a big thing. Like very few of them do.
Yeah.
I posted something on my Instagram the other day. I don't know. I think you don't have Instagram. That's right.
You like to bring that up.
Yeah.
All
you
the
don't have
time.
an
You rid
Instagram.
of it?
Yeah.
all of it.
He
All
deleted his
social.
Instagram.
Breaks carnivore for the weekend.
Yeah.
Gets rid of Instagram.
I got rid of social media the weekend that I
guy?
started carnivore.
It doesn't. Yeah. Yeah.
Listen, don't blame the diet.
Yeah. It's like a dice. You never know what you're going to get.
Listen, I love a good wild card in the group.
That's right. That's right. Just shake it up. You never know what's gonna happen. Yeah.
So I posted this on social media. It was this guy telling the doctor, "Hey, I went carnivore," and the doctor is like, "Oh no, that's bad because your cholesterol is gonna go high."
Mm-hmm.
And the guy says, "Well, my metabolic glycemic index when I'm fasting is perfect. I don't have any more inflammation at this and that." And the doctor said, "Well, yeah, your cholesterol is high." And the guy says, like, "What should I do?" And the doctor says, "Well, you should go. You should stop carnivore, eat high cereals things, and be on these pills for cholesterol." Like, that is the information that the doctors have. And I don't blame the doctors. I blame the system. You know, I think the doctors actually mean good. But when you have the capacity to learn by yourself and adapt, like you were saying, to pivot, like, I mean, the sky's the limit. What do you need in order to make a move in your life? You need the right set of information. And you need the capacity to adapt to the new set of skills that it's going to require from you. That's literally it. And I feel like I just posted a post about the story of Soshiro. Is that
God bless you.
Soshiro Honda? you know.
So
about,
not peppers.
not peppers.
Different than that. Okay. All right.
I think that's his name. I might be butchering it, but the guy literally started making piston rings for cars. He tried to sell it to Toyota, and he got rejected. Toyota said, "No, this is not good quality. This is low quality piston rings." So he went back to school to study engineering. He studied engineering, opened his own, warehouse, production factory, whatever. He got bombed in the war in 1930s. So he got destroyed. The guy said, "Okay, well, I guess I have to rebuild it." He rebuilt the whole place. And years later, he got destroyed. Well, I don't think even years later. It was like a month later, I think. He got destroyed by an earthquake. So now the guy has no money to rebuild this place.
Mm-hmm.
So he's like, "Okay, I need money." So he went to Toyota and asked for a job. And they said, "No, you're not qualified to have a job here." So the guy was desperate. And what he did was he started getting bicycles and he started bolting engines into the bicycles. And he started riding these bicycles in the streets and people were laughing at him. It's like, what the fuck is this guy doing? That's not, what is that? It's a bicycle. What is this? What is this thing? But one by one, people were starting to buy the bicycles because they saw with a bicycle, they could get way further if it had a motor on it. What a concept, huh? So then those bicycles became scooters. And those scooters became motorcycles. And those motorcycles became cars. And those cars became Honda.
Huh.
One of the biggest automotive companies in the world.
Yeah.
So you see throughout his life as an entrepreneur, it was literally just pivoting after each thing. He thought it was the piston rings, He built a factory, it got destroyed, build it, this, that. So it's just correlating to what you were saying. The capacity, you said that the founding fathers were self-educated people. And then you talked about pivoting. I think that's perfect combo for an entrepreneur, 100%.
Yeah.
It's kind of, the concept of life in some sense too. It's like change, pivot, or die. Like anything that's in stagnation gets left behind.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the same for our business.
Can you tell me a moment in your life? I know plenty of stories about Alex that he had to pivot, which I'm very proud of you though. Not the fact that you broke the diet recently.
This is just
with
a
a freaking
diet
cake, bro. With a cake.
A cake?
It was a birthday
Dude,
cake.
Wait. An ice cream cake?
No.
Oh, God.
I know.
Flour cake?
Hell
It was just a plain yellow cake with chocolate icing.
Just oh my goodness.
Yeah.
If you would have said I broke it with a fruit, I'm like, Alex, don't do that. It's okay. A cake.
Yeah. It's fine. Anyway.
Yeah.
So go ahead. You were gonna say.
What was I going to say?
Yeah. I
You were
asked
talking about stagnation and dying, and then we
Yeah.
wanted to talk about my diet again.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right.
Important correlation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what has been a moment in your life that you can say it that you can say, if I wouldn't have people there, I would have literally just died or I would have literally go broke, in your entrepreneurship career? What has been the biggest pivot that you have to take that you thought, man, should I do this? This is going to be hard. Maybe when you had to move, maybe when you shifted this huge dream of you to become a comic artist where you were just exhorting old ladies and had to do something else. What was
Nailed
that
it. Yeah, you nailed the homeschool kid.
Yeah.
A real player.
Yeah.
Should have seen the Afro picture. Woo.
Oh,
Okay.
nice.
Yeah, there's quite a few. But it's the big changes or the big pivots were never felt hard to do or to make that choice, because I felt in my gut, in my alignment, that it was the right thing to do. And I'm just very focused on staying in that alignment and staying kind of gut conscious. We have two brains, one in our stomach, one in our head. But moving to Nashville was a big one. I left my family, left everyone I knew, left all my friends, had couple friends out here. And so that was a bit daunting for sure, and had some very hard times.
What made you decide to move from California to Nashville?
Mm.
Mm.
I was in a transitional stage for my previous business.
What was your previous business?
Logistics.
Okay.
I love that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Logistics.
Yeah. We'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I was like, oh, well, I need, looking for some new opportunities. And California is just, you're indoctrinated with this idea that I'm from the best state. Why would I ever leave?
Yeah.
It's sewn into you. And I told my friend, like, hey, you should come check out Nashville, join my real estate team. I'm like, I'm from California. I don't know if you know this.
I don't need to do
but
that.
I'll come check out your peasant city. And so I did, and I just fell in love with it. And I saw where the city was growing. I saw where it was developing and the movement of it. And I said, hell yeah, like I'm in. I could build with a city versus trying to break into a market.
I love that. When was this?
2016.
Wow. Okay, good.
So,
Good.
2015. End of 2015.
That is something that I think is a skill that one has to develop that I didn't come with, is studying trends. That is so important.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize that until later on my entrepreneurship career. Trends is so big. It's the example of this guy that came to his friend. His friend is a massive entrepreneur, $100 million net worth. And his friend goes like, listen, I have this great idea. I have this business plan. And he explains the plan. And the plan is perfect. It's so sound that it has no flaws. And his entrepreneurship friend, the successful one, asked him, okay, so what is the business about? What are you selling? And he said, newspapers. So an incredible good business plan can be completely overridden if you're riding the wrong wave.
Yeah.
Newspapers are dying.
Yeah.
Who's buying newspapers? It doesn't matter how good your business plan is. If you're in the wrong trend, you're not going anywhere. So you saw the trend on Nashville, that it was not already built, that it was on the process of it. And you decided, yeah, I am willing to make this change.
Yeah. I'd always liked real estate design. And I was like, well, I can start my real estate company or join this team. And then I can get more into renovations, flip, development, and I can just kind of carve my own path. And so that was the logic or inspiration behind it. And I was like, and it was much cheaper at the time. Like properties were cheaper.
Oh yeah. Way
not so
cheaper.
much anymore, but
yeah, not so much anymore.
yeah. Sorry, from California, all the people that moved here.
Yeah. They inflated the market.
Yeah.
For sure. But that's part of it. You know?
And that's what happened. All the second tier cities in the US, people were leaving the big hubs and being like, oh, there's actually other good places to live where I can have a better quality of life. And
Yeah.
I'm not as stressed, like the traffic alone in California and the stress of people driving, like everyone's on edge. And it was just like, I'm like, oh, I gotta get out of here. Like I don't want this lifestyle. Just racked up a bunch of credit card debt and moved here and just got a little bit more,
How was that transition from going from logistics to suddenly doing real estate in a completely new city that you didn't even know? It was foreign to you.
It was challenging for the first couple years. Given my history of being homeschooled, I have a pretty high standard from people that I want to learn from or like mentor under, and I didn't really find anyone. And the group that I had first moved with wasn't a really good fit for me. So I just branched off on my own and self-taught myself how to do real estate. I asked questions, I read books, I listened to podcasts, anything that I could do to kind of help generate. And what I didn't really realize about my business early on years is that your entire business, any business, is built on your database.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Of people. Like I was just so used to doing things or, doing things here. And I'm like, and then I had to build a network because I didn't have one here. So I spent every weekend going out, meeting people, coffee shops, et cetera, and you build.
100%.
And the tipping point was like after 5 years, but I didn't sell a house for a year and a half when I first started.
That is good that you talk about that. I want to talk about two things. Number one, social skills that I think this guy was born with it. Literally
just oozes off of him.
Seriously.
That and apparently not the smell of butter this week. So yeah,
it looks trim though, doesn't it?
Yeah,
could be the black, but
could be the black, but he does his face definitely.
Yeah,
I can see the cake in the cheeks, but it's fine.
Stand up, turn around. We see a little bit more cake.
I want to talk about that social skills, and I also want to talk about when you say it was challenging. The first 5 years. I want to give people a really good glimpse of what you mean by that, because I feel like us humans have a bias to forget the suffering fast, easy. And that's okay. I think that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Because it allows you to keep enjoying life.
That's a very human trait.
Correct. But I do want people to understand that taking an entrepreneurship career, especially moving to a new city, what really challenging looks like. What was for you challenging? Like how did it feel not being able to produce money for a year and a half on a path that you have decided? Like anybody after 300 days of not seeing success in the field might say, you know what? Like this is not for me. Let me just find something else. I need to make money somehow. So walk us a little bit through that challenging process.
Yeah. I moved here. It was all stars and rainbows because if you've ever been to Tootsie's on Broadway,
yeah,
pretty much lived there for about 3 months.
Great time.
Oh my God. Yeah. I was like, Broadway is the best thing I've ever been to in my life. And just, we would go out all the time. And so I spent the money that I moved here with and racked up a bunch of credit card debt. And I heard someone, I think we were having drinks at my house or something, but someone said something to me and it just completely flipped me and like what I was doing. And they're like, if you're not making money in Nashville, you're doing something wrong.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, I have no money, a lot of debt. So I'm obviously doing something wrong. So like, let's just flip it.
Yeah.
So the hard parts were, I worked as a bar back on Broadway.
Okay.
So I was like, I just want to get in, sweat, lift some beer around, make some money, leave, go home and work real estate during the day. So like 5 p.m. to 5 a.m., about 3 to 5 nights a week. I was in there doing that.
Wow.
Huh.
And I did, signed up with a modeling and acting agency, did that for about 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
And so for about 3 years, I slept for 3 to 4 hours a night.
Wow. For about 4 years.
Yeah, 3 to 4.
That is the part. Yeah, go ahead.
How did that take a toll on you? And did you feel like that was sustainable?
No,
Yeah.
absolutely not. But everything was, I was like, how can I hunker down, utilize skills that I have, continue to build my network, make money to pay for rent, pay off my credit cards, buy a house.
Yeah.
Which I did in 4 years. But it just
That's
took
awesome.
compounding work. And lifestyle wasn't good. If you're, working at 5 p.m. to 5 a.m., you're drinking after shift, you're partying on the weekends,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I worked hard. I played hard for a long time. And that takes a toll because you're really the only thing that gets in your way. And I found if I look retrospectively, like I got in my way more times than anything else did.
100%.
And had I removed a few of those things, I could have been more successful earlier. But the lessons alone, learn from it are worth the time spent in it.
100%.
Yeah.
I think one of the problems of getting out, I think that is so important, getting out of your own way. The problem is that we don't know what we don't know. And we don't know what
Just having that
really,
conversation today. Yeah.
what really is holding you back from you. Because what's holding you back at that time, you don't know that is holding you back. You can say now that is holding you back because now you understood the lesson. But back then it was just something that was going on and you didn't know it was holding you back.
What was that pivotal moment to take you from that lifestyle that you were living in? Was it hitting that 4-year threshold and you were like, all right, I paid this stuff off. Now let's focus on whatever this next thing is?
It was about 3.5 years. I was in doing real estate. I was starting to get more momentum. I was selling more houses. Still doing gigs, modeling, getting day rates, SAG checks. And the pivotal point of getting out of the bar was New Year's Eve. I was working bar backing, and it's a madhouse. And I ended up getting punched in the face like 3 or 4 times.
What?
By this bald guy who just wanted to pick a fight.
Mm.
First of all, didn't even knock me down. I was like,
He was jealous about the hair.
hit harder next time.
Yeah.
And so I like came and like swooped his legs, got him on the ground, and then I was like flashlighting the security guards. And I was just kind of like had this busted lip and kind of jarred head.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like sitting in the back, and I'm like, you know what? I think I'm done.
Yeah. This is it.
This served the purpose of what I had it done, and I've put in my time, and now I need to now commit the time and energy into real estate
Mm-hmm.
so that I can get more out of it. Because this obviously produces more than this. You know, no sleep, punch in the face, lots of drinking habits. So that was a big pivotal moment.
How scary? Well, you had you were truly hit in the face there. I think there's a lot of people that want.
I have a very punchable face.
Yeah.
I learned,
It's not great for modeling either.
Not great
When
for modeling,
that happens on the back end. So there's a lot of people that are in corporate America or that work a 9 to 5, right? And they're stable in that daily, weekly, monthly income. They have a dream of doing something entrepreneurial, but they get stuck in that safe cycle, right? So do you think that once you went all in, like once you got hit in the face and you're like, all right, I'm done with this, the focus to go all in on that, is that what changed the game for you in the entrepreneurial space?
For sure.
Yeah.
I will say, but I needed to do both at the same time. Like keep your day job and find the time to invest in something.
Yeah.
You know, making that automatic switch without investing into the thing that you want to do and having that safety net and that covering is, I think, super helpful.
Now,
when
you say
some people will say different, and it's a conversation of signal versus noise. Like, oh, we just chase the signal. It's like sometimes, like if it's paying your rent, it's doing your things, maximize it, and then carve the time to invest in that business.
Yeah. Now, when you say invest, are you talking about with time, with money? Like when you say invest, what do you mean?
Most precious resource.
Yeah. Yep.
Time is the only thing that we have.
Yep.
I think that is, or the most valuable thing that we have.
Yeah. And I think that there's a lot of people that have big dreams and big hopes and big things that they want to do, but they can't make the time to do it because they can't get out of their own way. Right. They can't stop scrolling on their phone or looking at something. Or, one of the things that I wanted to talk about, I kind of wanted to go back earlier with the homeschool thing, is we're so indoctrinated with this 9 to 5 or, 7 to 3 timeline, right?
You can
with
thank
what
Henry
school
Ford
looks
for
like.
that one.
Yeah. And so, people struggle to find the time that they need to focus on the things that they need to do because they think that their timeline should be A to B. Right. And I think successful entrepreneurs and successful just people managing their time wisely and being able to sit, and I have a very full day today, right? I'm sure all 3 of us do, but we found time to do this. Yeah. We have time to go do our business. We have time to focus on whatever our passions are. We have time to focus on my children. Like I have the time to do that because I'm really good at time management. I haven't been very good at that for a long time, but figuring out what that is. And I think you had the benefit maybe of the homeschool side of your life to realize, all right, let's get the shit done that has to get done so we can focus on the things that we want to do moving forward. And then you've now given yourself that time to invest in the things that you want to invest in from an entrepreneurial mindset.
I think you nailed it. Time management is everything. We always have time for what we make time for.
Correct.
And I always have a saying, I'm like, if you're not in my calendar, you don't exist.
Yeah.
Like I even texted you, I'm like, are we going to send a calendar invite for this?
Yeah.
Like I'm so reliant on it because then it allows me, and in that discipline is your freedom to do the things that you want to do.
100%.
And that's the like contradiction almost.
Yeah.
Like,
And I've spent a lot of time with Brian at his house, traveling, whatever that is. And not one time have we sat in front of the TV and watched TV. Like, or something with a screen that has not happened, right? It's sitting down, having conversations, learning from each other, focusing on the next thing, meeting different people, like building those social networks and relationships, because that's what's valuable, and that's what kind of sets you apart from everybody else, which is, it seems so weird, right, to think about, because life has revolved around a TV for so long. When you're in some sort of communal space, everything kind of tracks to that. Not once have we ever sat and watched television.
That's awesome.
Which is pretty great.
I've had different moments in my life where that theory goes 100% with me, and I'm following that theory to the
Which
T.
one?
The time management, everything structure, and I think it really depends on the person, because I've been on that, and most of the time I don't thrive on that. There's I don't remember the name of this golfer that he won like a Grand Slam, whatever.
Happy Gilmore?
Yeah, I think it's that one.
a Grand Slam.
I don't know what that is.
Yeah.
I don't know golf at all, but I read the story. And
Hole in one, maybe.
No, he won the tournament.
Oh,
whatever the tournament was.
PGA. Probably.
Yeah, something like that. It was like the biggest thing. And this guy was overweight, long hair. He was not even well groomed. The guy had some drinks before the tournament, and he won the thing. He didn't practice. He only liked playing with his friends and still won. And this other guy
like Happy Gilmore.
was practicing constantly every single day, TD, good outfit. The guy was serious, never drunk before a tournament, whatever. And he still lost. So there's this theory that I have been proving over and over again now is, at the end of the day, whatever result you're looking for, as long as you do what is required, you're still going to get the result.
Yeah.
There's these guys that are super scarcity mindset. They don't like spending money at all, and they still make millions.
Yeah.
So at the end, the consequence of like the result that you want has a clear steps that you need to follow, or things that need to happen. How you get there, it really depends on the person. I do think that discipline is key. I think consistency is key.
Yeah.
I think that everybody should find what method works for them. Because I feel like that's the beauty of entrepreneurship, is what makes you unique is usually the highest point of leverage for value to give.
For sure.
So for example, Brian thrives on that structure calendar life. That has advantages, huge advantages, over somebody else that just lives I have to do 3 main things in a day. It doesn't really matter when I do them. I'm just going to do them wherever I want. This other person might have more freedom with their time to do whatever they want, but Brian gets things like clockwork. So there's always different players in a court, and you just need to know what type of player you are, which brings me to, I know how important self-discovery is, learning about yourself. But I'm wondering if that played a role in your entrepreneurship career, because it did for me massively. Like the moment I understood myself well, I think things started to smoothly just keep going up and up and up with so much like flow. It was less resistance because I was not going against my nature.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. That self-development and that pursuit of self, and like, because everything comes from us. Like, we are the wellspring of life, and for the people around us, for our own self. And so the time that we can spend in that discovery through different pursuits trying out different things, personality tests, whatever it is that makes you learn more about what you do, what aligns you, what gives you energy, what takes energy. Like I think those are the last two are the most important. Like, what gives you energy?
Mm-hmm.
What is it that you're doing that gives you energy? What takes energy? Okay, let's eliminate the things that take energy and the things that give, and add more of the things that give energy. And if we can live in that alignment and that flow, then it's like, then there's like all these coincidences that you start noticing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, and then you're like, oh, well, maybe like the universe is like working for me and towards me. But if you're out of misalignment and you're going against your nature, like you said, it's the opposite. Why is everything working against me? Why am I walking uphill with all these things on my back? And
literally,
and all it takes is just that, I think, mindset shift of first me, then everything from me.
Yeah.
But I can't do what I do without taking care of myself.
100%. 100% is.
That's why I mountain bike a lot.
we do need to mountain bike. You need to make it happen.
I would like to. I need to.
Yeah. You need.
My
to.
uncle was like one of the early adopters of mountain biking.
It was in
like,
California.
in like the 60s.
Yeah.
So they would take fixed bikes and they would make shocks and different things and weld them to them and run them down hills.
I remember that.
That's
that was a
wild.
Great era.
Yeah.
It started in California.
Yeah.
It's Marin, in the Marin Mountain, something like that. The place, I know the place is called Marin.
Yeah.
Something
He's one
like
of like OG mountain bikers, like back in the day.
That is
was
crazy.
one of the original like Burning Man guys when it was like out in LA on the beach before they moved it to the desert. Yeah.
Your uncle is a legend.
Fascinating guy.
That's very cool.
Fascinating guy.
Does he want to come to a podcast?
I don't think so.
Probably not.
One of the most interesting guys I don't know, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. Alex was surprisingly good at it the first time. Yeah, surprisingly good. I did give him the best bike I had, but he did very good. I was surprised.
You took him on a hard one, right?
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he did pretty good.
Yeah.
He's
it's
like,
because I did it half naked.
I'm good.
Made it even better.
This guy did it in a weird outfit. I started questioning.
So I wore my bibs.
Yeah, I was gonna say that sounds like a bib.
So I had the short bibs on.
Yeah.
And then I got it like the straps up, and I was wearing it, and I just took the top off. So I just had the shorts on. So I rode the rest of it just like that.
And the strips were not even on top of the nipples. They were literally out.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So
that was pre-carnivore, so we were a little we're a little bustier then, so it was good.
You got a hell of a bust.
It's fine. It's fine.
I'm in the middle of a forest with this guy wearing this outfit, sweaty as hell. I'm like, God, just protect me. You know? I'll take care of the trail. Just protect me from this lunatic.
You should have seen the faces of people coming the other direction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Alex, you're embarrassing me.
Yeah.
So something that we're talking about is social skills. And I think is one of the most important tools in the repertoire of an entrepreneur. It does not matter what industry you're on. The end consumer is always going to be a human, no matter what. Even if you make, I don't know, food for horses, the horses belong to some human.
Mm-hmm.
Your manufacturers are going to be human. Your marketing head is going to be human. So I feel like the moment I focused a lot on developing my social skills, I'm a natural introvert. I did not come wired with social skills whatsoever. I was the most awkward guy you can imagine. Because for me, it was like if a conversation didn't have any sort of value and I was not interested in, I'll completely dismiss it. I'll be like, what are you talking about? And I'll be awkward if I didn't like what I was hearing. Until I, read the classic book of How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. And then I went into that rabbit hole, studied, the psychology of the body language. And I kept on going that. And it fascinated me because when I saw my social skill growing, I saw all of these perks coming along it. I suddenly had connections. I could get, something that I needed from this friend that I already know he will help me with. I was able to make more deals in business. I was able to, my life just became better because now I had a network that loved me and I loved them, that they could just support me. But until I made that connection, it didn't really make sense. I remember one time driving two super wealthy guys in Uber. I picked them up at this mansion and I was driving them. I was listening to their conversation And I tried to pitch into the conversation, but I realized the moment I said something that I didn't have the social accuracy to say it in the right way or in a way that they will feel that I could be part of that conversation. So the moment I said it, they were like, right. And they just kept talking to each other. I was like, there is more to this. I need to improve these skills to the point where I can establish a conversation with whoever it is. It's not that I want to talk to everybody, but if I had to, I can. Did you in your entrepreneurship career dedicated some time to improving your social skills, or it was something that came wired to you too?
Came wired.
Wow.
Yeah.
I envy you guys.
Yeah.
But I will say that one of the things that Brian does that's really cool is, and he hasn't done one in a little bit, or at least I haven't gotten an invite, has been like the bourbon tastings or tequila tastings or something like that, where he'll get a group of, entrepreneurial kind of like-minded individuals together at his house or wherever, and we'll just meet and talk and interact with each other. And so that immediately everybody knows Brian, right? So you get there and that kind of, gives you access and kind of takes the wall down a little bit, and then you just go around and meet people, and it's nice. And I think that's how I've built several relationships with people that I'm friends with now, is from that. So I think that being around people helps you with that. The more that you talk, compliments on your networking, my man.
Thank you.
Yeah. That is good. I think that is good for people that already have the social skills. I will say to anybody who's listening, if you don't have the social skills yet, study it. You can learn it. It's just a skill. When you say somebody's charismatic, you can break it down into small little behaviors that if you expose them, then they become a skill. Smiling at the right time, when to be funny,
Active listening.
So all of these things that makes you charismatic are just skills that you can just break down, study, and work hard at them and practice them. Because it makes no sense to go to a pool if you don't know how to swim. So learn how to swim first, go to classes, and then jump in the pool and go swim with your friends. I'm glad that for both of you guys came with it, and obviously the more you interact, the better you get at it. Iteration is part of the process.
Yeah.
I feel like there's some of us that are so bad at it that you just need like a one-on-one social interactions, course on it.
When you got to get that, and then you got to have the practice piece too, right? You can read and do it, but you got to get past that threshold, right? You got to jump at some point.
I will say, and this going back to family restaurant, as a kid, I was always like,
that's right.
Hey, I was making friends with anyone because I was homeschooled. And I also wanted to just meet other people. I was very curious by nature, but having a restaurant where you're forced to interact with the public on a work basis, like you really get over whatever that resistance is towards talking or saying the wrong thing. And so that was kind of training a lot for a very young age to my young adult life.
Yeah.
So
that's incredible. So you got punched in the face.
Yeah.
You said
which time?
With the bald guy in the bar.
Yeah, that one. Not the bald guy in Thailand. One. That was a different time.
That was a different time.
Yeah.
So you said, no more. I'm not doing this anymore. I'm going to move to something else now. I'm going to dedicate all of my time to this real estate career.
Well, I was already doing real estate and the other things. It was kind of nail in the coffin of like, I'm done with this. I need to focus my time into this other thing that produces more fruit and more abundance in my life.
Right. It's always a blessing when you burn the boats, but you need to know when and what boat are you going to jump on once you burn the other one. I feel like in your case, we're talking about this was 2020 when you quit the bar. 2019.
Yeah.
It's funny because I had a massive shift in my life around that same year, which is crazy. Yes. So you said, okay, I'm going to go into real estate. And I assume, might be wrong, that you felt when that income source was no longer part of your life. Like I assume that because you stopped working there, suddenly your income took a hit. but you were trading that income loss for a future potential. So how did that transition happen? Did you see immediately that real estate started covering for what you were making at the
It was
bar?
pretty baseline. I had bought a house during the time of working all 3 of those jobs and not sleeping, and I rented out every room in my house that I had. So I kept my living costs as cheap as possible. So I was able to save a fair amount of money. But once I was able to invest more time and more network into that, it was like cool, and then shot up.
Okay, let's talk about that. We already know that you went through a lot of struggle, and it took you this one friend saying, "Hey, if you're not making money in Nashville, you're doing something wrong."
Honestly, I can't remember who it was.
You
I
can't
think it
remember
was
who
like
it
probably
was.
at a party or something.
Let's say it was me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was, my friend
was me.
Manny.
Yeah.
3 a.m.
Yeah.
I was there drinking.
Yeah.
I don't drink, but
Yeah.
let's imagine.
A soda.
Yeah. So it took all of that. You focused completely on real estate. What for you was the moment it shot up? Like what happened? What points accumulated into that same area that it made the thing shoot up?
Me investing in marketing, me expanding my network, compounding over 5 years.
Okay, so you're talking about investments and risks, because investing in marketing is a risk. You don't know if it's going to pay back. So what made you take the risk of saying, I need to invest in marketing?
It was a simple fact that I wasn't investing in myself or my business at all. And it was just easy. It was an easy math to be like, well, I have to try it. And I have to pick the right funnels of investment for my buy sell kind of real estate team or whatever it is. Sorry, I lost my train of thought there.
It's fine.
Yeah.
So you were investing in marketing.
Yeah. And I really wrestled with this. I'm like, oh, well, can I spend the money or can I afford it? Like, I can't afford it. And then I was like, well, that's a scarcity mindset.
Okay.
And I was like, and here's the numbers of why these things work. And if I can commit this amount of time to this amount of money, to this amount of money to this amount of time, then let's see if I get one deal from it, it'll pay for it.
Okay. So talk about that wrestling between should I not?
Yeah.
Because as entrepreneurs, there's nothing scarier than betting your hard-earned money that doesn't flow steadily into something that it might have a return. How did you overcome that wall?
Drink a lot.
Drinking a lot. So for the ones that are listening, if you're having any type of issue that you need to decide whether to make an investment in yourself or your business, just
definitely drink.
Just find the bottom of the bottle.
Find the
Drink it
answers
a
are
lot.
always at the bottom of the bottle.
Just kidding. I will say the 3 of us do not drink anymore.
yeah, we did not drink. When do you stop, Alex?
Oh man, it's been several months. So it's
I thought you were about to say years.
Yeah, I was like,
no,
that was the most
no.
underwhelming.
It was
several
like it's been,
decades, several
months,
years,
several months.
several weeks.
I used to
Several
drink.
hours.
I used to drink a lot, and then when a couple of years ago, I started drinking. Maybe 1 or 2 drinks every couple of weeks, and now it's just I have no desire for
So
it.
congratulations on the several
thank
months
you.
of not
Hey,
drinking.
you gotta start somewhere, right? You gotta start somewhere.
That's really good.
Yeah.
What about you, Brian?
New Year's Eve just beginning of this year.
So
Beginning
a
of
few
this year.
more than several months.
Yeah,
So
like
8 months.
Assholes.
And you're making fun of him.
Yeah. Listen, 8 months is
Yeah.
better than several months. Whatever the fuck that is. That's
That's
like
hilarious.
3 months.
And if you had met us when you were 19, you'd probably still be drinking now.
Yeah,
So
that's true. Yeah.
it's
I stopped drinking 13 years ago.
yeah.
13 years ago. Okay, so I really want to dissect this pivotal moment again in your career where you said, "No, I am going to invest in this," because I know it takes courage, and you really go into a conversation with yourself, and there's a lot, especially for men. There are only 3 things that are loved unconditionally: women, kids, and dogs. Men, if we don't bring value, you're not loved. You have to bring value. And I mean, don't believe me. Go to a bar. Don't be in shape. Don't groom yourself and have 0 money. I would like to see how much how much you can pull. Okay. So
That's called
attraction,
being homeless, actually.
yeah. The value of a man in this society comes from what they attribute to society.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of this decision that there's a piece of self-esteem attached to it.
Mm-hmm.
If it doesn't work, it's going to hurt. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what made you become that fear?
I changed my perspective on failure.
Okay.
Failure is, I used to, from like, oh, I don't want to fail. I don't want to fail. But what that institute is a system of no action. And really, when I changed my perspective that failure, actually, I'm learning every time I fail, I learn something. So then failure became my best friend versus success. Because what does success teach you?
Nothing.
Nothing. Just that what you did was right.
Mm-hmm.
If I fail, then I'm learning. I'm like, oh, I shouldn't do that, or I shouldn't do this. So keeping that malleability and being able to pivot and try this marketing or try that marketing, and also have the confidence and belief in yourself to do it. I had to sit down at the end of my bed and be like, if you're going to invest this money, do you believe that you can make it worth your while?
Mm.
Like, that's a hard conversation to have with
It's
yourself.
a very hard conversation.
And it's like, I'm betting on me. And that's the most important thing that you have to do. And I think that's the most important, and the most successful entrepreneurs do that. They bet on themselves, and they apply, not even the smartest people in the world, they just apply massive action behind their own belief in themselves.
Yeah, that is beautiful. I always say that I don't endorse gambling at all, but always bet on yourself, no matter what. And I think look, what happened to you, I can break it down like this. It's called a belief shift.
Mm-hmm.
An old belief left and a new belief came in. Okay. Where before you used to attribute a lot of emotional distress to failure because of the belief you had. What was your value equation for failure? You suddenly remove that value equation and you made it 0. So failure has now no effects on you. It has actually a positive connotation.
Mm-hmm.
So now it's a no-brainer to invest in marketing. But I think is very underrated the fear that one feels prior to making that shift of really trusting yourself.
It's crippling.
Mm-hmm.
It's crippling, especially for people that already have kids, and that
multiply
money.
that by 10.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So usually that fear stops most of entrepreneurs, apart from actually failing, Okay, so you invested the money in that marketing. How did it go with that marketing?
Good.
It went well.
Yeah.
So it paid off.
Well, I had some learning issues at first. I wouldn't say it was, rainbows and butterflies,
Right.
but I had to learn to be better in my communication skills, my conversation with strangers, and how to win people over quickly.
Mm-hmm.
It was with like Zillow marketing,
Right.
SEO stuff in Zillow. So I had to spend that investment, and it cost me a lot of time too, because you had to be available for any sort of lead or call at any point in time. So if I'm having dinner, we're having a intimate conversation, it's like, sorry, I got to take this. That was the one thing I didn't care for it.
Yeah.
But it was like, I was like, well, cool. If I just invest in this for a couple of years, we'll see. Because you kind of build your pipeline.
Right.
I just stacked my pipeline. And then I stopped it after, I think, 2-3 years. But I'm looking at the numbers in my CRM of when I started it and the percentage of my like yearly sales it added was almost 20-30%.
Wow.
Had I kept doing that over time, it could have potentially kicked
Kept
it up
on
more.
growing.
But
yeah. The pivoting part of when you said you decided to go into take the leap in doing marketing, that is constantly a battle of entrepreneurs. Like that was your first one. I'm sure as you kept going, there was something else that you had to put another conversation with yourself and say, okay, now we need to do this one.
And it didn't work.
And it didn't work.
Yeah.
What was it?
I tried another SEO marketing platform. I had this buyer's agent on. I'm like, hey, look, we're going to get these, kind of warm leads in. We're going to invest in it. And we didn't. I took from the few amount of calls that I took, I was able to convert. But once I delegated it, nothing came from it.
And that's a point I want to talk about.
Yeah.
Removing yourself from the equation. How was that shift for you?
it was hard and not profitable.
So it's
So
funny to me.
then that's on me too.
Yeah,
as far-
100%.
You know what I mean? Like that's
100%.
whatever that result was is still my responsibility.
100%. And it's funny when we talk about an entrepreneurship career, the deeper you go into it, the more unemployable you become, because you become such a generalist. You're not the best at something, but you know how to do everything because you have to. So first was, okay, I'm going to invest in this marketing. Let me learn this marketing. Then I have to learn these new sales skills. I thought I was good with people, but suddenly I realized that there's a gap in my skills and I need to win people even faster than I did before. Okay, now marketing is working. Now I need to delegate this and it didn't work. Okay, so what is my skill that I need to learn next? Is training. I need to be able to staff this thing well and actually pass my skills on to other people. So I need to learn how to create systems. So it's a bunch of compilation of just skill building constantly.
Yeah.
And this battle of like, oh, I don't think this is gonna work. Can I make it work? And now you're just betting on yourself yet again. Can I actually have a team? Am I a one-man show? Can I actually do this?
You have to have a team. You have to delegate, or you can't grow.
Yeah.
You're stuck at that
you're
threshold.
stuck. You're stagnant.
Yeah, you're stuck.
Correct. There's a saying that goes,
Or I'll drive myself crazy.
drive yourself crazy. I think you already did that, but I guess
Couple
more.
times.
Yeah. So there's a saying that goes, automate, delegate, or eliminate. It's one of the two. You know,
like
and that time frame can depend on whatever. I have a commercial cleaning business, is one of my main business. I love it for many factors, and one of them is that even in, you know, pandemics and stuff like that, it keeps producing money like clockwork, and it's something that AI is not going to be able to interrupt for a long time. So I love that business for that reason. But my trajectory on that business, it was very similar to you. Not on the marketing side. I feel like I did that last. But the delegating, I spent around 2 years trying to delegate the cleaning. I was doing the cleanings myself. I was cleaning every single client that I had. I was the one cleaning it. I was like, if I want to grow, I need to have somebody else cleaning these things for me. So I hired probably like 17 people and they didn't work.
Wow.
They didn't work.
17?
Like 17 people. And what happened was I was presented with this huge client that was going to, and it did, change my life money-wise. You know, I was getting clients that were paying maximum like $3,000 a month, and this client alone was going to pay $23,000 a month.
Wow.
It was a big jump. So I was like, I was forced to find good, like, it was not like, oh, I'm going to do this, you know, maybe this guy will work. It was like, I have to do this thing.
Yeah.
And I feel like this is something that people don't understand about entrepreneurship. If you constantly keep that cushion behind you, that is okay if you don't make it happen, then I feel like you go numb and you go, oh, it's okay if I don't make it happen. I'll just bounce off of the couch, of the mattress or whatever. In my case, I had a stake, a nail back there that it was gonna literally go through my lung. Let's say lung. Yeah. So for me, I just had to make it happen. I was done with cleaning myself, number one. I was done with not making good enough money.
Yeah.
I saw my friends having completely different lifestyles than I did. And I wanted more. And I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna find it. So funny enough, I was in real estate too, and I rented this place to this family that just moved to Nashville, and they were looking for any type of jobs. And I was like, hey, are you guys willing to do this? And I really put a lot of attention on their training. I spent a lot of my time on their training. And I was like, am I wasting my time? And then reading some books, it said, no, you're investing your time by training somebody else, because now they're going to take over for you.
Right.
And the moment I learned that skill, I don't know what happened to you once you did learn it, but my life went from nightmare cleaning toilets every single night, not making enough money, to let's buy a place in Tulum. Like, just that one skill completely transformed my life.
Yeah.
So I'm curious to know, how did it happen for you?
Still working on it.
Still working on it.
Yeah. Ended up, that agent ended up moving away duties fell back on me, hired someone else,
Mm-hmm.
got a job. So I'm now in the position where I'm like, okay, I need to figure out that skill set
Yeah.
and figure out or pivot into something else.
Do you think that's because you want the control? Like, do you think that's a you thing, the way that you run your business and the way you kind of operate? Or do you think that it's just a skill set thing to learn that training piece?
It's a little bit of both.
Yeah.
But it's also like my brand is me.
Yeah.
And my business is me. And it's like people want to work with me.
Yep.
So it's just about getting the right complementary person who can represent me, and we work in tandem together.
That was a great question by Alex. Something that I learned that was one of the key changes that once I became successful at this skill was my vision was very selfish. And I didn't realize that until I read this book. Forgot the name of the book. But basically the author said, your vision has to change from why this is good for Manuel to why this is good for them. So your vision has to be so big that their vision fits into yours. So the approach that I used to have with my other employees, the ones that failed, was like, hey, you can make this much money an hour, and it's great. Come do it. The different from that to my successful employees, that, by the way, they make 6 figures a year now, working for us. The difference was like, hey, this is my vision. We are growing, and this is going to become huge. I want you to be a part of this growth, and this is what it can mean for you. So it's not, hey, money. Yeah, some people are money driven, not everybody. But what does that mean for them? You have to like paint the picture for them. You cannot let them paint it themselves, because sometimes they haven't painted in a while. So you have to do it for them. So once they were able to see that there was a future by working with me, their attitude changes. They suddenly got, more love for what they were doing. They suddenly started respecting their craft more than just, oh, this is just a job that I get paid, $25 an hour. And that shift helped me a lot. Obviously, there's so many nuances in between that, but that helped me a lot. Hopefully that will help you too.
Yeah,
on it.
Absolutely. That's kind of been the next thing, and in the conversation that we're having is, this is where I want to go. I've built the vision for it. This is where I want to go. Do you want to be a part of it?
Exactly.
So,
exactly.
But that's such an important point of having a vision big enough for that.
For them.
That will fit other people into it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. All right. So you said marketing, now staffing. Where are you in your business right now, in your entrepreneurship career? Because I know you flip houses, you build, right? You also build houses. You own real estate. You own a team of in a brokerage. And basically everything that you do now is revolving real estate. What's going on now that you think is stopping you from growing more, and what is your vision for the future?
Small questions.
Yeah.
Good thing I didn't add in what I wanted to add into that.
Yeah, keep it.
Yeah. I'll hold it for a second.
Hold it, Johnny Cash.
Yeah.
What was the question again? Sorry.
Where are you right now
Where
in your
am I
entrepreneurship career?
So right now I'm in like business vision planning. So I kind of have built and roadmapped what I want the overall business to look like, which is basically a vertically integrated real estate company, from land entitlement to development to the real estate team that sells it. So I've kind of been working with my new business counsel, ChatGPT. I don't know if you've heard of it.
Yeah. They do a great job. Great job.
And kind of building out this plan. And as of the moment, we work with our investors, and we're doing luxury builds. So I'm helping on the acquisition, the design, and the sell of these products. But eventually, it's land entitlement, it's development, it's real estate funding, and then it's the real estate team that sells it. So right now I've got my team from the development standpoint. I have my designer, I have my contractor, building out the real estate side and land entitlement and real estate funding. So
That's beautiful. So you're basically playing Monopoly right now.
yes,
That's very cool.
yeah. But yeah, and I'm renovating my own house. I do my own flips. I do my investor projects, and trying to figure out a way to scale the business so it's more profitable and beneficial for everyone that's involved.
How many projects do you have going on right now?
6,
Okay.
6.
and then my personal, and then 7 more.
7 more coming.
7
more.
coming.
Wow.
Okay.
That
Yeah.
we're negotiating right now.
Wow. Yeah, you definitely need a calendar very
Yeah.
tightly
Yeah.
for that.
And I have my property manager for my Airbnbs. I have a midterm rental, work with those.
Wow.
Day-to-day real estate business. Have time for a relationship,
Yeah,
partnership, and make time for that. It's every hour is almost
I can tell.
accounted for.
Yeah.
Wow.
But there's also like the point. I was like, I want to buy back time too,
Yeah.
so I can spend more time with my friends and my partner, and
Yeah. Makes sense.
How did you get to, this was going to be my question. How did you get to that, to where you are right now, right? Like, just, you don't have to go through the whole, but just like a quick lineage of, all right, well, I bought my first house, and then I bought a house and I put this many tenants in it. And then I took that money and I bought this house. Like, how did that look like? If somebody's watching this and they're like, man, how do I get to that stage? What did that look like over 10 years in Nashville?
It's a great question. The early stage was obviously getting out of debt.
Yeah.
And then buying a house. The first house hacking it was, a huge advantage, which allowed me to maximize savings
Mm-hmm.
from both bar and real estate income.
And house hacking is when you buy a property, put tenants in there with you. They live there. They pay your
you're a
mortgage.
roommate here, or I have a detached garage, or I have extra rooms. I'm filling every space that I can.
Yep.
I even filled the couch sometimes.
There you go.
That was more just being generous.
Wow.
I had some good friends. I had some good friends like that let me sleep on their couch a
Yeah.
little bit from time to
I
time.
slept on
Long
my friend's
time ago.
couch when I first moved here.
Yeah.
So I was very thankful for that.
Wow.
That's how you become social. Like, you
You have to.
live on people's couches. You have to talk to whoever comes in the living room. So it works out.
Yeah. Find a couch.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Find a
couch. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a website, couchsurfers.com.
Seriously.
It's in Europe. Yeah, it's like a
Wow.
a home share thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I honestly had a business partner early on. We didn't have as much, and so we bought a couple properties together, which it turned out to be great investments.
How'd you find that person?
He was my second client, and he was a longtime friend of mine.
Okay.
So he had worked in tech, works at Google, had a lot of discretionary income, wanted to invest in property. So I kind of became the go-to guy for a lot of those guys.
Again, network.
Yeah.
Network.
And then you bought, and then so another thing that a lot of people might think is, Brian is doing really well in this space. He's making a lot of money. He's got a lot of projects going. He's got projects coming in. He's just living the life, right? He's out. He's driving a big fancy car and got a big fancy house and all that stuff, right? Like that's certain people's opinions or perception of what they think that could look like.
Right.
And I think one of the things, and I love a lot of things about Brian, but one of the things that he does is he very much lives below his means, and make sure that he has that income that's ready for whatever that next thing is. So I think it is inspiring for me, for somebody that has always made money and spent money, right? And then been like, shit, I wish I had that $50,000 that I spent on whatever to invest in something, right? And then you see somebody that's doing things the way that you want to do them, and living that entrepreneurial life, and he has set himself up to where he doesn't have to worry about what his mortgage is or his rent is or whatever to take care of that. So, you can tell as much of your story as you want, but I think that's pretty awesome. So
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
It doesn't cost me much to live. I don't have like super expensive taste, and buy clothes on discount, find good deals for trips, and maximize savings. And don't spend money where I want to. There's just
Exactly.
day-to-day stuff I don't.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I figured long time ago that nothing's expensive. It just depends on how much you're making.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah.
Things that I do now, when I moved to the United States, would have been like am I crazy? Like, there's no
Yeah.
way. So I think the conclusions that I'm getting from your story is, number one, having the courage to take risks.
Mhm.
You moved to a completely new city, completely different language. You went from California to Southern. It's difficult.
Got a little bit more twang.
Twang.
You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
exactly.
More
And you can say
country
y'all.
twang.
You went from logistics to real estate,
Mhm.
which is a big shift. And while you were trying to do real estate, you were in bars. You were doing hand modeling.
Yeah, look at these things.
Mhm.
Unbelievable.
You were doing modeling, and then you decided to completely go for just real estate. And where would your life be now if you wouldn't have taken any of those risks? What would you be doing in California right now?
God, who knows? Great question. Probably be a proud American farmer,
Okay.
modern day American farmer. It's so far beyond my
Right.
like even ability to comprehend because I was so removed, or I removed myself
Correct.
so immediately from it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't know. I really don't know.
Yeah.
I think probably miserable. I don't know. Happy. I mean, all my family's there, and that's great, and I love to go back and visit. But I also love being in Nashville and like how much more accessible there is here. Like New York's 2 hours away. I have friends in New York. I just go see them. Miami is close. Atlanta, New Orleans. Like there's so much more here to explore and experience. And, and I'm a very experience driven person. Like I think one thing that I asked my dad in the last couple of years, and I was like, hey, what's something you would tell yourself at 36 if you have with the knowledge you have now? Which is a fun question I just like to ask people that are in their 60s and 70s. He goes,
You can ask Alex that.
yeah, well, what would you? Yeah, I think he just answered it earlier.
Yeah, I think he did. He will eat a cake in the fucking boat. That's what he will do.
Finish him. But yeah, he said, I would spend my money on experiences, not things.
Mhm.
And experiences with people that we love and people that we know is by far like why I work as hard as I do and have the dreams that I do, so that I can buy back more time and have more experiences.
Yeah.
There's a book that I highly recommend all of my friends. It's called Be Your Future Self Now.
I've seen that.
Completely shifted my paradigms. In the books, he talks about one of the main lessons. He talks about what in 20 years you will wish you would have done. And when you think about it that way, there's going to be people in your life that might not be here in 20 years.
Mhm.
Might or might not. Maybe one more call a week saying I love you. You know, what things you wish you would have done. For example, I think a lot about what things can I do with my parents now that they can still, you know, do activities, walk, you know, we can travel, we can do this. Those are good things that when I'm 6 years old, I know I'm going to regret.
Yeah.
I'm not going to regret as much, you know, going to Tootsie's. I don't even like partying, you know, with people, random people that I don't care about. What things, I think a lot about things that I can do now with my wife, you know, that we're young, you know, crazy adventures that we might not be able to do once we have kids, or so it's always leaving, noticing the things that are the most important now, because we never realize that we are in the good times, only when they have passed.
God, it's the best quote from The Office.
Right? It's crazy. Yeah. And what I like to say about that is that every time you ask yourself that question, for some reason, the answer is going to be the good times are now. The good times are now.
Oh, yeah.
It doesn't matter what cool things you did in the past. It's crazy to think that you're never going to be younger than this.
I always say that. I say, today's the youngest you'll ever be.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
yes. So go ahead.
Yeah, no.
I feel like everything that we are high achievers. And that is something that you need to feel or have as an entrepreneur. If you don't push yourself and you constantly growing your standards, you're not an entrepreneur. And you don't have what it takes, because you have to be a little bit of a masochist to be in this field.
Yeah.
But sometimes we forget the reason why we're doing all of this. The real reason why you're doing it. Like if you go deep down, it usually comes down to two words: freedom and happiness.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it.
Yeah.
Is you guys know the story of the fisherman in the island? There's a story of this billionaire comes into this island with his big yacht, and he sees this fisherman, and this fisherman is so good. He's just getting the best fish. He's like no effort at all. And the billionaire gets close in his boat and say, "Hey," and the guy goes like, "Hey, how are you so good?" He said, "Well, this is what I love to do. I'm very good because of it." And he says, "Have you ever thought of just having other guys, teaching other guys to do it, and you can sell the fish in the market and make more money?" And he's like, "No. Why would I do that?" "Well, you can even get a bigger boat and throw a bigger net, and with your skills, you can even get more fish, and you can sell it in the market. And that way, you can have so much money that you can do whatever you want, and you can do what you love." It's like, I'm already doing what I love.
Mm-hmm.
Why would I go through all of that just to come back and do what I'm already love doing?
Right.
So I feel like sometimes we lose track on the chase of like this project, and we forget the reason why we're doing it. And this is something that happened to me and my wife recently. We have money invested in the stock market, and we have money invested in real estate. We have been very focused on wealth growing.
Mm-hmm.
Wealth growing, not so much focusing on cash flow.
Yeah.
Our wealth has grown exponentially, but it's something untangible. Like I cannot use my wealth right now.
Mm-hmm.
What I can use in the day-to-day is cash flow. So we have made a decision that we're going to optimize a little more towards cash flow, because we're not traveling as much as we can. I mean, we travel probably like 6 times in a year. Most
good.
of that, like 4 times might be international, but we want to do it more because we have the freedom. We have no kids. Most of the things that we do, we can do it through a computer. We don't have to be anywhere. So just tapping into your why every now and then, it shifts a little bit the way that you operate in your life, and it reprioritizes the things that actually are important for you. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Get down to that why, baby.
Yeah.
Get down to that why.
You gotta have the why. I mean, if not, what are we doing this for? So
What's your why?
my kids, 100%. So I want my kids to have a better life than I had. I mean, I had a good life growing up, but I want my kids to have a better life than I had. And that's why I do what I do every day.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
How do you think your kids can have a better life than you had?
So I think, sorry, didn't want me to run away from the mic. I think experiences is great, right? That's something that I don't take anything away from. And then not to take anything away from the relationships that I had with my parents or anything like that. But I think spending time with my kids when I have the time to spend with my kids is going to set themselves up to have a better life than I had. I think seeing me do the things that I do and go through the ups and the downs of what life looks like, and being able to communicate and have conversations with them, so then they know they can learn from the failures, right? They can see what success looks like, and they know, all right, well, I need this, but dad already went through these things. He already went through these failures and learned from these, and he's taught me what these things are. So now I can start from this point. I think that is something that will set them up for success way further ahead than I would have been, or than I was. And then making sure that they have the means to do the things that they want and need to do, and being supportive of them in the lives that they want to live. I remember having a conversation with my oldest son, and he may or may not go to college. I didn't go to college. We've just sat here and talked about what we think about the educational system, right? And it's not one of the things that I love. If my oldest son feels like he wants to do those things, I'll support it 100%. But if he wants to get a backpack and he wants to go backpack through Europe for 3 months or whatever, I'll support that 100%. As long as you can go and you do something good with your life, and you make something of yourself, and you're doing something that you truly love and believe in, you're following your heart, like you are doing the life that you're intended to be doing. And I'll support that 100%. I want my kids to always know that they have the ability to do those things and have the means to do those things. And that's why I do what I do every day.
It's beautiful. Beautiful. One question that I ask myself once I have kids: are you planning to have kids? Thank you.
God bless you.
God bless you.
Yeah. Yeah. To me, it's it all depends on who I end up with, who I marry, my partner. That is not a path that I would go with
the wrong person. Yeah.
Yeah. With the wrong person, or just with anyone, or just, I don't have this like deep desire, but meeting the right person and knowing that, hey, we're a team, we're a unit.
Yeah.
Would make that so much easier,
Oh,
because it's
100%.
you against
enjoyable.
them. That child is a terrorist.
Yeah.
You are literally setting the foundation
Yeah.
for how they understand reality and
Everything.
and I would just want to do that with someone else. Otherwise, I got 7, 8 nieces and nephews running around that I can be the cool uncle with. But
Dude, that is so like accurate. I didn't want to have kids
Mm.
until I met my wife.
yeah,
Literally, I was
Yeah.
like, kids? What? Hell
No.
no. I come from a broken home.
Mm.
Crazy shit happened. I was like, bringing more people here to experience that. I don't know. But once I met my wife and I saw the relationship that we have and how compatible we are, and it's like, yeah, this will be a cool thing for them. There's another thing that I think about with my kids, and it's something that I'm going to implement with them is, and I'm asking you guys this question. Answer in order of who's smarter. If you want to build,
Well, I have a public education, so obviously me.
I got street smarts, logistics.
Hashtag logistics.
So if you had to create the toughest, most adept, badass human in the world, what would you make them go through?
They would
And
live in
that-
a sewer.
And that completely changed my idea of how I want to raise my kids. So I'd rather my kids, even if they want to be a gardener,
Yeah.
I'd rather they be a warrior
Mm-hmm.
in a garden
Yeah.
Mhm.
than a gardener in times of war.
Mhm.
So regardless of what they want to do, I still want them to make them badasses, people that can adapt fast, and people that have a lot of skills that they
Yep.
can use for whatever they want.
Yeah, because that's your job is to prepare them.
Mm-hmm.
Prepare them for war, prepare them for life, prepare them for and withhold and restrain and discipline and
Mhm.
all the things that help shape a good human being, and not give them everything they want.
Yeah.
So I think that would be an exciting challenge, and maybe that's the masochist of the entrepreneur in us, of like, wow, I have the ability to shape this human being
Yeah.
in like potentially such an amazing way, or just really fuck it up.
They'll really fuck it up.
You're gonna fuck it up
Some way.
some way. Like,
Oh, yeah.
and I don't think you don't escape.
It's
that.
impossible.
It's
Yeah.
impossible. But I think that's super exciting. And then like, because we know the impact of one person,
Mm-hmm.
and like, what if this could be a amazing contributing human being to society, to the people
Correct.
around them, to help create a better life and a better earth. And
Yeah.
so,
Yeah, I think, and I actually, it was funny because I was talking to my youngest on the way to school this morning. We have just kind of little conversations about certain things, and we were talking about stealing and how like a thief is one of the worst things on the planet, right? Like taking something that's not yours, I have zero sympathy for, and as well as taking something that you come by without somebody knowing about it, right? And you still have to be honest and trustworthy and be that person, because you are as good as your word, right? And making sure that you follow back up on that. I was telling them a story about, I went through Chick-fil-A one time, and you normally you pull up to Chick-fil-A. It's a while ago. You go through Chick-fil-A, and there's somebody outside, and they take your order and they scan your card, and you drive up, you grab the bag, and you take off, right? Well, I had pulled up and I ordered through the intercom system, and then I pulled up and I grabbed my bag and I just drove off. And so like 30 minutes later, I realized that I didn't pay for my food, and I could, like, it was literally like eating me up inside. And so I called them back and was like, hey, I just want to let you know, this is my order number. I got the food. I didn't pay for it. I would like to pay for my food. And Maddox was like, well, they wouldn't have even known. And I said, I would have known. Your brother would have known. You would have known, right? Mm-hmm. And that's not the way that we're going to live. So making sure that you're instilling these things in them on a repetitive basis and often. And then we talked about discipline, right? Making sure kids thrive. Most human beings thrive in structure, right? Like if you took Brian's schedule away, just wouldn't get done. Things wouldn't happen, right? I'm the same way. If I don't have the structure there, it's not going to happen. If your kids don't have structure, the things that you want them to accomplish are not going to happen. If you stick them in front of a screen all the time, they're not going to become the people that you want them to be or that they want to be. They're going to become whatever their mind tricks them into thinking that they need to be because of that screen, or the lack of social skills, or the ability to go outside of the house and see fucking sunlight, right? Like, mm-hmm. like you've got to make sure that you're the parent. You're not the best friend, right? I love my kids and I want to be friends with my children, and I want them to feel like they can come to me for anything, but I'm not their best friend. And I won't be their best friend. They have their best friends for that. I am their parent to make sure that they don't become shitty people in this world. Yeah. And that is something that if you can instill that in them and make sure that they realize what their goals are, and you help them figure out what their goals are and lean into that and give them the strength and the confidence and the security to know that they can do anything in this world, then I think that you've kind of won the day as a parent.
Yeah. You're doing a value foundation of values. And kids are like water. Whatever they're exposed to most is what that water is going to become.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So what they do most is TV, they're going to be whatever the TV is. Same with school and whatever. Well, this has been awesome. Thank you for coming, Brian Vance. Brian Vance. What are your socials so people can?
Instagram, Brian at TVG.
Brian?
Brian.tvg.
Brian.tvg.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then Facebook. That's it. No TikTok.
No TikTok. Okay.
No LinkedIn. Oh, actually, I do have LinkedIn. I need to update it, though. Don't look at it. It's from a year ago.
Alex, what are your socials?
I found out I do have a TikTok. I don't know what it is. But we're gonna redo Instagram. We're gonna come up with something. We don't know what it's gonna be, but we're gonna redo that.
The carnivore cake guy.
Huss Daddy.
Huss Daddy.
Hustler.
I like that.
Yeah, that's good.
You said you were the humble Huss. That's what you said that was going to be last time.
The humble Huss is so cute.
Antithesis.
Right? If it doesn't exist, that's what it will be. We'll go with the humble Huss.
I love the irony there.
Yeah.
The humble Huss.
Yeah, that's the best thing about it.
It's great.
Yeah. Well, thank you for coming, Alex, too.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
It's been fun. Thank you, Brian, for coming.
Thank you for
having me. We might have you another time. We'll discuss that.
I'll be here.
All right.